his comrades in arms, the fielders. A good fielder needs great fitness, agility and technique to catch and throw the ball with pinpoint accuracy.
Trouble at the bowler's end. Should be gone.
It's both an art and a science. Marshalling the fielders and directing the bowlers is cricket's general, the captain. Great captains are masters of motivation. In part 4, one of the greatest of them all, Steve Waugh. In this battle between batsman and bowler, the contestants must have the will to win. Cricket is a psychological war, and science can help cricketers develop the attitude of a world-class player. In Australia's state tournament, the New South Wales Blues are playing the Queensland Bulls in 2001. The Blues are doing poorly. Only one man has the mental strength to save them. This is the Australian captain, Steve Waugh. He scores a century, 100 runs, and saves the game.
You've got to have faith in your players and always believe that ultimately you're going to come through, and you've got to back yourself. From my position, batting-wise, we're in trouble, but I wanted to establish myself at the crease and then just keep a monitor on the run rate, and hopefully it wasn't going to get too far out of hand, and hope we had wickets in the hand at the end. But in those situations, yeah, you've got to back yourself to try and win it.
Steve Waugh is not used to losing. Since 1999, he's won 16 consecutive Test matches. Xenophon, the Greek historian, wrote that a general needs to be loving and tough, straightforward and crafty. Like a true general, Steve leads his team by example.
You've always got to try and motivate your players and give them positives. You don't want to be giving your players negatives. And I guess give them the belief that you think they can do the job. And I think that's really important, that they know that you're backing them in any situation out in the field, and that's probably the most important job of the captain.
One way of motivating players and intimidating the opposition is to use psychological bullying or sledging. Australian ex-wicketkeeper Rod Marsh is a past master.
I've always said that the best form of sledging is silence. For example, if you come to me on a cricket field and ask me a question and you're the opposition, I can look you straight in the eye and ignore you, then to me that's the greatest form of sledging.
Sledging is an integral part of cricket, but is it fair play?
There's different ways of people interpreting what sledging is. To me, I'd rather use the term mental disintegration. That is what the Australian side's all about. We obviously want to put pressure on the opposition players. We don't want to make sledging, as people call it, personal. We try and make it amongst ourselves and give off an aura and try and intimidate players when they get out in the middle. I think if we can put players under pressure, then we're going to try and do that.
Steve Waugh's Australian team are mentally tough enough to be world beaters. In comparison, this inner strength has been lacking in the English game. The young England players are trying to change this mindset with the help of sports psychologist Steve Bull.
It's a very individual thing. Players vary immensely in how they display their mental toughness. But essentially, it's very hard to be mentally tough without displaying the obvious qualities like perseverance, gritty determination, the ability to perform under extreme pressure, and in some senses the ability to raise your game when it matters most.
Ironically, one of the examples of mental toughness Steve uses is the epic duel between English batsman Michael Atherton and South African bowler Alan Donald in 1998.
Michael Atherton, they're evading quite well. He was in full control there, kept his eyes on the ball.
Alan Donald bowled an incredibly aggressive spell of fierce fast bowling where Atherton was being peppered left, right and centre. It was a very intimidating piece of cricket.
Just beautifully bowled, right at the throat.
He had to cope with that. He had to stay there, he had to see Donald off, and knowing that if he did so, he stood a chance of winning the match for England. And as it turned out, it was a critical period because England, as we know, went on to win the series.
Good hook shot. It was well directed at the batsman, beautifully played.
He tried everything this morning, didn't make any difference. A beautiful shot. Atherton has played that wonderfully well.
It was a classic display of Michael Atherton's gritty, completely focused determination, and he really is a world beater in that department.
Ah, beautiful. That's in front of square. It was a quick delivery, but Atherton just sailed into it.
Alex Tudor, working hard in the English National Academy, is appreciative of Steve's psychology lessons.
But you know, in sports psychology, we tell you it doesn't matter if you're bowling in front of 100 or 45. You're focusing on one thing, and that's to get the batsman out as a bowler, and the batsman is to get runs against the bowler. So it shouldn't really matter, but external things come in, and you know, hearing the crowd and stuff chant your name, or if they're giving you abuse, you can sometimes hear it. But some people thrive on it, and they love that sort of atmosphere in that battle.
Alex and his colleagues are hopeful they'll play for their country. When they do, science will have helped make them better cricketers. Science has shaped their training regime. New scientific methods will help them bowl faster, spin quicker, keep their eye on the ball, bat more effectively, throw accurately. Sports psychology is making them mentally tough enough to face the opposition. It may even help one of them become a captain. With science on their side, these new model cricketers may one day be ready to take on the best in the world.